In the early 1800s, Captain Charles Bernard uh, sailed out to the Falkland Islands to do a sealing expedition, whack some seals on the head and take their fur. And they ran into some problems. There's shipwrecks, and they oh, quite the mess. It's all described in this book I've been reading lately, Left for Dead by Eric Dolan. But something interesting struck me. Captain Charles was trying to make a decision, and I really enjoyed his thought process. So, to set the context, they were far, far away from anything. Falkland Islands, very remote islands, and they ended up meeting up with another ship who let them know that war had been declared. This was the War of 1812, and this was an American ship, and so they knew that they were now at risk of being captured by the British should they run into the British at some point in their voyages. And so the crew and the captain were struck with a decision to make. Do they try to rush home back to America and hope that they can dodge British ships on the way, wait out the war in America and not risk their cargo? Or should they keep on sealing, fill up their ship, probably take a year or so, full of cargo, then set off back to the Americas? If they wait, they might still run into the British. The war might still not be over. So either way, there was a high degree of risk of being prisoners of war. But the way they finally came to a decision, Charles said this, and I'll read it. The time in collecting a full freight would pass much more pleasantly than in the walls of an English prison. And if in completing it, the war should not have terminated, we should have the misfortune to be captured on the passage, we would not have so long a time to spend in confinement, as if we had now made the effort and become prisoners of war. With that thought process of really looking at, well, we can't control the war, we can't control if we run into the British or not, we can't control if we get captured or not. So we might as well make the most of it. We might as well spend our time in a way that is more pleasant and has a chance of being productive by gathering all these supplies and seal skins. And if the inevitable happens and the bad event occurs that happens, well, time will have progressed forward. So they'll have less long to be prisoners. The war will eventually end for them. And they would have at least been able to spend the first year of that war enjoying themselves, working, having the chance to build up their assets and their fortune. So, yeah, I think that was a good thought process that we can apply to our own lives. Hopefully you're not stranded on islands and at risk of being captured by a British warship. But if you're thinking ahead, like I often do, of, well, what does the future hold? We don't know. Well, what risks might be out there? We don't know that. We can plan ahead. We can be thoughtful. We can have good optionality. But when it comes down to it, we might as well try to spend the time right now doing something that's pleasant and productive. And if the inevitable bad thing happens, well, hey, you got an extra year or an extra however long, an extra day of doing something that you enjoy, that adds value, that grows you. So there you go. There's some thoughts from 1812 from a salty sea captain for you. Bye.